deliver us. Hatchet, Arena, Salem, Dangerous.
I'm so glad shit like this never happens in our house.
Hello! So Alice's Adventures at Wizard School is a film that I made. It's a full-length movie. It follows Alice Barnett and Susan Dustis, who are aspiring private investigators that are attending Bothwell School of Witchcraft. It is a found footage film about their current case, which is investigating a demon lord that is supposedly going to invade Bothwell at some point. They were just gonna talk a little bit about it and how I made it, because I'm very proud of it and I'm very excited for you guys to see it. If you've supported me on Patreon though, it's on there right now, so you can just go see it if you want, but everybody else has to wait till tomorrow. A little fun fact about me is in 10th grade I made a short film that I submitted to a film festival. You're not going to see any footage from it because it was not good. And I've always loved filmmaking. I worked as a professional cinematographer for a wedding company from the age of 16, so that's where I learned a lot of my skills for making event videos that I use on YouTube now. I actually went to university for film studies. So if you're watching this, I'm assuming you've seen any of my other videos. I make event videos about LARPs all over the world. If you don't know what LARP is, it's basically a big old adult game of make-believe. All of my videos so far have had a very strict format. You know, I show you what the LARP looks like and what the actual experience is like. But like in the video about the pirate LARP on the Baltic Sea, I never got to tell you guys that my character sacrificed her life so that someone that saved her life once could have his ship that he called home back. It sank. I don't know how to say that eloquently. Which brings me to my next point, which is it's kind of a joke in the LARP community that nobody likes to hear other people's LARP stories. To me, hearing someone tell a LARP story is like hearing someone tell you their dream. Like, it can be really interesting, but most of the time it's just really long-winded and confusing and very personal to the person telling it, not so much to the person hearing it.
No, yeah, so, full context, full story, here we go. In the 1500s, Geoffrey Boyswick was one of the founding members of the house. Yes, Geoffrey Boyswick was one of the founding members of the house. He had a friend called Callum. Callum and a bunch of 6 other people died and burned in the fire. I know what the thing is, I've been walking with it all along. I want to help. What's wrong with me? No, you're coming with me. I'm not actually like,
what part of it is that?
No, I'm not coming with you. They're my friends, give me about me. You got me.
Yeah?
I have seriously you that long.
Which is sad because a big part of LARP is the fact that it's collaborative storytelling. A big part of my experiences and what makes LARP so special and artful is these plots that happen. And I have attempted in the past to show these plots, but it's very, very difficult. Because when you film a LARP, you're never getting the entire story. Because it happens over the span of like a weekend. So trying to make a video that encaptures an entirety of a LARP story is kind of like taking all 3 seasons of Stranger Things and trying to condense it into a short film, but you're only getting 1/3 of the footage from Stranger Things. So most of the time the videos I've tried making about the narrative of LARPs have been like strung together with commentary from me, and it's just felt jagged and inconsistent, and I was never happy with it. And I just felt like it never really encaptured what LARP feels like. Anyway, using my normal format, I made a video about Bothwell School of Witchcraft, which is an experience inspired by Harry Potter in a castle in England. And as I was going through the footage that Azrai, who you might know from the LARP House channel, captured during our game, I started noticing, wow, she got a lot. She almost never stopped filming. She got a lot of really big scenes, and I started looking at it like they were puzzle pieces, being like, oh my god, this could go here, this could go here. And suddenly this dream that I had that seemed like way too ambitious for me to try, I was like, oh my god, I can do it. I can tell a full story. And that's what I did. That's what Alice's Adventures is.
Don't do it, Jorah. You're better than that, Jorah. Jorah, you killed your parents, but you're better than that. You're a monster, but you're better than that. Wait, what?
With me flailing too hard. Yeah. Like,
There's a double homicide.
no, we can't. Out.
suicide. My goal for making this movie was to create something that read like a found footage film inspired by the world of Harry Potter, so that anyone could enjoy it, like not just LARPers could enjoy it. Like I wanted it to stand alone as its own thing. I wanted people to be able to have like movie nights and watch it. But I also wanted to create something that could be used as a tool for our community. I wanted something that I could show my parents and be like, see, I've shown you what LARP looks like, but this is what LARP feels like. This is what I do. But doing that wasn't as easy as just putting all the shots together, so we're gonna get into how I made this thing. So first of all, almost nothing in this film is in order. Yeah. If I put it all in order, it would make very little sense. Because the thing about LARPing, and this is gonna be a little hard to explain, but like it's a story that takes place over the span of like 2 days, and there'll be like very, very important things that happen to your story that happen in like a split second. It's a completely different format, and so to take that kind of storytelling and try and put it into a 50-minute film, it wasn't gonna work quite the same way. So here's an example. So Alice is in a house called Wizenforth, and this is a scene that takes place during the first house meeting of Wizenforth.
This is your common room, this is your home away from home.
So that's like the big main entrance in.
Would you potentially deny that the demon entity inside? Do you think that it would linger?
Oh, I see where you're getting at, but no.
Can the demon see what we're doing right now?
Exactly. Yes.
No.
This shot was taken during the day on Friday before anyone else showed up to the castle. This shot happened Friday night when the game had already begun and we were actually having our first house meeting. And this shot happened literally the day after. But I needed an exposition shot to show where we were. I needed a shot to show what was happening. And in this shot, a Wizenforth student tells us that a demon lord is coming to the castle. And while that happened maybe in the middle of our game, if this was an actual film, if this was scripted, you would want to take that and put it at the beginning of your film so that people know what everything is leading up to. So most of the time I used it so that it would have like, you know, a narrative structure to it. I also used it to add drama, so you're going to see a scene where we set an entire classroom of demons free, but this was actually 2 different classes. Another thing I did is while I was editing, I would record my own voice so that I could add important plot points into the film. So there's this character that we interacted with that had this bandaged hand that turned out to be a demon thing. There's a lot of demon stuff. But I needed to set that up earlier in the film, so I recorded myself saying,
Sir, how did you get that mysterious hand injury?
Unfortunate exchange.
You got a lot of one-liners.
and then I put it in as if it was actually happening. So that later on in the film, when we have this demon thing happening, we already know why it happened. Probably the most time-consuming part of this process was I wanted to add special effects.
How about a deal? Okay, do you know the demon Leonard and or Asmodeus? Asmodeus.
As a matter of fact, I do. I know Leonard fairly well.
Oh, hi, I'm his daughter.
So part of why a lot of LARP scenes don't really read well on camera is because a big part of it is in our own imaginations. It's a make-believe game, which means all of the spells we were flinging at each other were just our imagination. But that wasn't gonna work for a film. And so I have a lot of self-taught experience in Adobe After Effects, and so using that, I added some spells. I'm pretty proud of the special effects that I managed to do.
1, 2, 3. Hold it.
So I'm excited for you guys to see it.
Begin. Volta! I do so darling!
Alright, well let's see how you do without your eyes.
Is it? Reflector!
I wanted the music to seem diegetic, so I wanted it to seem like it was happening in the universe so that we were fully immersed in this found footage film. And so I mixed the audio so that it sounded like it was actually coming from inside the room, like from a speaker. Anyway, I put a lot of effort into this film, and it would mean a lot to me if you watched it. And I'm using a special thing on YouTube for the first time, so it's going to be premiering live, so there's going to be like a little chat box so we can all watch it together for the first time. Yeah, thank you very much, and I don't know what else to say. Thank you very much, and remember it's going to be premiering at 4 p.m. EST on Thursday. I'm gonna go to bed now.